For a small island, Sugarloaf really packs a huge punch in terms of ecological benefits for the city. There's also a lot of recreational activity on the island for boaters. In addition, arguably most importantly, the island serves as a natural line of defense from large storm events that strike our area.
What we've noticed over the past 25 years is that a lot of the island has receded. We have lost over 7 acres of the island, and that is leaving the infrastructure of downtown Morehead City open for damage during storms and hurricane events.
Shoreline was the main contractor on the Sugarloaf restoration project. It's a great project to highlight nature-based solutions where the habitat, the community, and the island are all enhanced through a larger encompassing project.
The goal of this project was to not only protect the island, but try to build back the island to its original state. So through that project, installing a living shoreline around the island to act as a speed bump, but also creating oyster reef habitat and using the WAD units, which are really awesome units, due to the depth of the island. So the depth of the water around the island, it was going to be tricky to put certain materials out in the water, but what the WADs provide is a space for habitat to just attracting the habitat and the wildlife to it. So in each unit, there's a lot of interstitial space. It's open, so wildlife is able to interact. That's going to increase fisheries in the long run, which is providing more recreational value for the island.
You know, the oyster reefs are doing a really good job too of keeping a shoreline in place to add some habitat that's got important fishery value, to have the waves and currents bring sand over the system, over the reef system, and then deposit that sand behind the reef, and then the plant communities grow into that, and that's really a very important part of the coastal protection. So this Sugarloaf project is bringing all those things together in a very visible way, particularly for Morehead City and the importance it's bringing here.
If nothing were done, Sugarloaf Island would disappear in a few years, and all of those impacts would be felt on these restaurants, hotels, businesses here on the waterfront. So it was definitely a necessity, and in the long run it is going to and has already improved fishing around the island, and it looks a little bit different, but we needed the change in order to be able to protect the city.
Just within a couple months after it was installed, we saw a big change, and it's been in a little under a year, and we're seeing a increase in habitat and protection of the island.
So currently we're conducting our first annual monitoring event, which is required by the state and federal permit agencies, and it helps us make adjustments to our restoration work on the island. So we're monitoring our native vegetation. We've established long-term vegetation plots. We're also looking at the level of scour and the level of oyster and other shellfish growth around our outer sill system, which is a concrete pyramid system known as wave attenuation devices. In addition to that, in the nearshore environment, there's Sandbar Oyster Company's oyster catcher solution system, and we're monitoring oyster growth on that, as well as sediment accumulation in the nearshore.